Do you ever stop to think about your neighbours? The friendly wave across the street, the polite conversations about the weather, simple interactions we take for granted. But beneath those polite smiles, behind tightly closed doors, everyone has secrets. And sometimes, those secrets are harmless. Other times, they can turn deadly. The thing about neighbours is, you never really know who lives beside you until it's too late. I moved to Green Hill Street about a year ago, escaping the loud chaos of city life. It was a charming, peaceful suburban community, the kind you picture when someone says perfect neighbourhood. Green lawns, white picket fences, quiet evenings. The neighbours seemed friendly, waving politely when they walked by or briefly chatting over fences. Everyone appeared perfectly normal. Well, everyone except the neighbour next door. His name, I learned quickly, was James. But the name was about all I could learn. Unlike everyone else, James never attended neighbourhood gatherings or friendly chats by the mailbox. He kept his curtains drawn, the lights dim, and rarely ever emerging from his house. At first, I just thought he was shy or perhaps going through something difficult. I respected his privacy and I didn't give it another thought, but maybe I should have. Things started getting strange about 2 months after I moved in. The first odd thing I noticed was the noise. Occasionally, late at night, I'd hear muffled sounds coming from James, the house next door. Thuds, as if heavy objects were being dragged across wooden floors. Sometimes there were faint whispers or even muffled sobbing. It was slightly unsettling, but I just assumed it was harmless, just private issues he was dealing with. Over time, it escalated. On several evenings, unmarked vans or cars parked quietly outside his home, delivering boxes covered in black plastic wrapping, always at dark, always quietly. Other neighbours began noticing too. When casually chatting one afternoon, Mrs. Harper across the street whispered nervously, "You've noticed, haven't you? Those strange people who come and go. I swear, sometimes the noises sound like cries for help." Her words unsettled me deeply. I started paying closer attention. Then came the smells. Subtle, sharp, chemical odours drifting occasionally through my open windows, so potent they made me gag. When I confronted James politely at his doorstep one morning, concerned there might be a gas leak or something dangerous, he stared at me strangely, eyes cold, replying sharply, "It's nothing. Please mind your own business." After that, I began feeling distinctly uneasy. I tried to dismiss it, telling myself James was probably just antisocial, not dangerous. But one evening, as I watered my front garden, something happened that erased any chance of ignoring my discomfort. Glancing up casually, I saw James standing at his window. The curtains parted just enough to show his eyes, glaring intently at me. As soon as our gazes met, he abruptly shut the curtains, disappearing inside. It left me chilled, my heart racing a little. From then on, I felt watched. Each night, strange noises continued, footsteps pacing nervously, occasional screams quickly muffled, hurried whispers as if intense arguments occurred. My anxiety spiraled. The friendly, idyllic neighbourhood now felt unsafe, sinister. Sleep became difficult, paranoia setting in deeply. One particular cold Saturday night, around midnight, I was suddenly jolted awake by frantic pounding at my front door. My heart hammering, I cautiously moved to the peephole, terrified yet compelled to see who was there. Standing on my porch was James. He looked frantic, eyes wide with panic, pale and sweating. The man who's been quietly intimidating suddenly appeared genuinely terrified. "Please," He shouted desperately, voice trembling, "Open the door! They're coming for me! Please!" I froze in confusion and fear. Who was he talking about? Should I help him, or should I just call the police? My instinct screamed at me to just keep the door shut. "James, calm down," I said through the locked door, trying to control my shaking voice. "I'll call someone to help." "No," he shrieked, pounding harder. "Don't call them, just open up, please, let me in." As I struggled to decide, a pair of headlights pierced the darkness, approaching slowly. James spun around, sheer terror in his eyes, as an unmarked, dark-coloured van pulled silently up to the curb outside our houses. Without another word, James sprinted away, vanishing quickly into the darkness between the houses, running for his life. I stood in shocked silence, my mind was spinning. The van lingered for a moment, then slowly pulled away, leaving the street eerily silent again. I called the police immediately, my hands trembling, explaining everything frantically. Within an hour, several officers arrived. They searched James's house thoroughly, and what they found made my blood run cold. Inside James's house, hidden beneath floorboards and behind fake walls, they uncovered evidence of identity theft, illegal substances, surveillance equipment, and detailed information about numerous people, including me and several other neighbours. Apparently, James wasn't his real name. He'd been using multiple identities, carrying out disturbing activities no one had suspected. The vans that came at night were part of something deeply criminal, something terrifyingly serious. But James himself was never found. Police said he'd fled that night and simply vanished into thin air, despite extensive searches. The mystery deepened, questions unanswered. Eventually, life slowly returned to a kind of normal. The neighbours moved on, quietly avoiding mentioning James. The house next door, it stayed vacant, a dark reminder of trust betrayed and safety shattered. Months passed quietly. I began relaxing, believing perhaps the worst was behind me. Well, until one grey morning, sorting my mail, my fingers touched a postcard. No return address, no stamp. Confused, I turned it over and my heart nearly stopped. In shaky handwriting, a single message was scrawled across the back. "Thank you for not opening the door. See you soon, neighbour." Suddenly, that uneasy feeling of being watched returned, heavier and more intense than ever. My quiet neighbourhood had lost its innocence forever, and I knew deep down I would never feel safe again.